President Donald Trump touts his economic agenda and second-term achievements tonight in his State of the Union address.
The speech comes just days after the Supreme Court struck down his sweeping tariffs. NBC 10 political reporter Lauren Mayk is joining us now with more on the president's message. Lauren.
The speech tonight was at points combative, taking on Democrats, awkward with members of the Supreme Court who struck down that signature policy just days ago. And the address was President Trump's argument against lagging approval ratings, saying the State of the Union is strong.
You're going to win big. You're going to win bigger than ever. And to prove that point, here with us tonight is a group of winners who just made the entire nation proud. The men's gold medal Olympic hockey team. Come on in.
President Trump narrating a reveal in the balcony to introduce the gold medal winning Olympic men's hockey team. A moment of unity in the chamber that is otherwise divided. Some Democrats even boycotting the speech. One escorted out. President Trump tonight touting accomplishments.
We gave you no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security for our great seniors.
President Trump blaming Democrats for affordability issues.
We are doing really well. Those prices are plummeting downward.
In the audience tonight, members of the Supreme Court, including justices who voted to strike down President Trump's use of tariffs.
Then just 4 days ago, an unfortunate ruling from the United States Supreme Court. It just came down. It came down. Very unfortunate ruling. But the good news is that almost all countries and corporations want to keep the deal that they already made.
The speech in Washington comes amid a partial government shutdown with funding for the Department of Homeland Security, which includes ICE, at issue.
As we speak, Democrats in this chamber have cut off all funding for the Department of Homeland Security. It's all cut off. It's all cut off. They have instituted another Democrat shutdown.
Immigration was one of the key issues that helped President Trump win the White House. But support on that issue has dropped after recent ICE operations and the killing of American citizens by federal agents.
If you agree with this statement, then stand up and show your support. The first duty of the American government is to protect American citizens, not illegal aliens.
Scolding those who didn't stand.
You should be ashamed of yourself not standing up.
Multiple times tonight, President Trump commenting on who stood and who didn't agree with his take on the State of the Union.
Democrats are destroying our country, but we've stopped it just in the nick of time, didn't we?
On foreign policy, President Trump touched on Iran, saying it is working to build missiles that will soon reach the U.S. He said his preference is to solve things through diplomacy, but that he will not allow that country to have a nuclear weapon. In the studio, I'm Lauren Mayk, NBC 10 News.
And I'm Matt DeLucia in the Live Center. Virginian Governor Abigail Spanberger delivered the Democratic response. She talked about the high costs of child care, energy, health care, and groceries, and she blamed President Trump as well as Republicans in Congress for that, talking about tariffs and saying that consumers have really had to shoulder that burden. She spoke for around 12 minutes just a little while ago. Here's part of that.
Democrats across the country are laser focused on affordability in our nation's capital and in state capitals and communities across America. In the most innovative and exceptional nation in the history of the world, Americans deserve to know that their leaders are focused on addressing the problems that keep them up at night. Problems that dictate where you live, whether you can afford to start a business or whether you have to skip a prescription in order to buy groceries. So I'll ask again. Is the president working to make life more affordable for you and your family? We all know the answer is no.
And Governor Spanberger also blamed Republicans in Congress for not stopping the president's agenda, which she called dangerous. Now, she also said that the president is not doing enough to fix America's challenges, which also include immigration. She also focused on how Democrats like New Jersey's Mayk have been winning recent elections, even herself winning in Virginia this past November by double digits, really just going strong to drive home that Americans are not better off with President Trump in office, guys.
Okay, Matt.